gripped Rivers State since October 2023 shows no sign of easing. Although the House of Assembly, led by Speaker Martin Ameule, failed to reconvene plenary on Thursday, the lawmakers regrouped and held a session on Friday. Ahead of the sitting, all 27 lawmakers addressed a press conference at the entrance of their temporary chamber within the legislators' quarters along Aba Road, Port Harcourt. The Deputy Speaker says the investigation process would proceed.
Our decision to proceed is informed by the following. 1. The Governor and the Deputy Governor do not have any intention to stop disobeying the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as altered. This is the third time that impeachment proceedings will top affairs of the state, and we have noticed that the Governor and the Deputy Governor have mastered the act of manipulating leaders and public opinion against the House rather than retrace their steps, assure the House and indeed Nigerians that infractions on the Constitution and laws of Rivers State will be altered in the best interest of the state. 2. The Governor and Deputy Governor are acting as if Rivers State House of Assembly does not exist.
Other lawmakers also lend their voices, stressing that the move is neither politically nor ethnically motivated, but firmly rooted in constitutional provisions.
There is no ethnic coloration to it. Nobody should bring in ethnicity. We are here to defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended.
It's an anomaly, an anatomy, to reduce constitutional matters to mere tribalism and ethnicity.
In a significant twist, 4 lawmakers who had earlier withdrawn from the investigation expected to lead to impeachment reversed their decision, declaring renewed support for the process.
During the pendency of this appeal, we found out that the governor and the deputy governor, they have all employed their media boys and aides to continuously attack the Rivers State House of Assembly.
We have resolved to proceed with the impeachment process. We had earlier taken a position to consider a political solution, but the governor and deputy governor are ignoring us.
Following the press conference, Speaker Ameule reconvened plenary with the order paper limited to 2 items, that is, the continuation of the investigation of Governor Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu.
By virtue of Section 188, subsection 5, I will ensure that the resolution of this House is immediately communicated to the Chief Judge of the State.
The House later adjourned plenary to January 27th as residents of Rivers State await the next phase of the unfolding political standoff. From Port Harcourt, Andy Omano, RIS News.
All right, a lawyer, Obed Ago, will weigh in on the unfolding political and legal situation in Rivers State, where a high court has issued an interim order restraining the state chief judge from receiving or acting on any communication from the State House Assembly concerning an ongoing impeachment process. Glad to have you join me here, Obed Ago, a legal practitioner.
Thank you, Ndi, and thank you, Nigerians, for having me.
Let me break this thing down before I ask you this question. Rivers Assembly wrote to the CJ to set up a 7-man panel to probe Fubara. The court has both barred the CJ of Rivers from receiving any impeachment correspondence from the State House Assembly.
Okay.
Has also restrained the Speaker and 32 others, including the Clerk of the House and the Chief Judge, from taking steps towards the impeachment process. Now the question is, should the judiciary be intervening in an impeachment process, and then what do you make of the 7-man panel set up by the 7-man panel that the Rivers State House Assembly is asking the CJ to set up?
All right, thank you very much, Ndi, and then thank you, Nigerians, for having me this evening. First and foremost, I want to lend my voice to majority of Nigerians who has actually called for political solution in what is happening in Rivers State. Having called the president, it is indeed unbecoming that after the president has taken steps to resolve politically the issues they had in River State. Still, the House of Assembly members are still going on with this impeachment proceedings. That, to me, is not helping the governance in River State. That hasn't been said. The judicial proceedings that has taken effect or taken step by the claimant, who is the deputy governor, is everybody, primarily, every Nigerian should know that there is division of power.
Separation of powers.
Separation of powers for the legislative, for the executive, and for the judiciary. And that has been actually imbibed in our Constitution. Section 4, 5, and 6 provides for all these powers of these arms of government. However, checks and balances is what we look at. It is right that courts cannot stop any arm of government from functioning its constitutional obligation or duties. But that does not take away the fact that a court as well, when looked into the proceedings or the process that had occurred at the intervening time, could make an order. And that is what the court, the High Court of Port Harcourt has done, presided over by Febrishima.
Yeah, I'm not taking away, I'm not stopping you, because here I have that a court can invalidate an impeachment that breaches constitutional mandatory procedures. The Supreme Court of Nigeria, in the case like Inakoju versus Adeleke.
Yes, the court can do that. When the court has looked into the whole process and found that it did not actually go by the provisions of the Constitution, as recorded in Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. So if there's any breach of that procedure, then the court can actually intervene. But at this level, it has not gotten to the level where the court ordinarily should have intervened in the procedure. What we have is a restraining order stopping the chief judge.
Okay.
So let's get it clear. The chief judge has not set up the panel. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
So the restraining order by the deputy governor is restraining the chief judge from even accepting the correspondence from the legislative arm and going further to inaugurate the 7-man panel, which unfortunately I have not read the reasons behind the process that was filed. What I have is the court order restraining the from 1st to 31st respondents from not taking steps, and as well as the chief judge not to take steps as well to receive the correspondence.
So we cannot categorically say until the case is heard on the 23rd.
There's a motion on notice that should be heard on the 23rd. Now it is an interim injunction stopping them from doing this, which ordinarily the court can give based on the reasons adduced by the claimant. So if the reasons are clean before the court, at this interim period, let us stop the chief judge in his official capacity, not in his judicial capacity now, official capacity as provided by the Constitution, that he should receive the correspondence, then set up the 7-man panel.
So at this point,
they are asking the chief judge not to receive the correspondence and not to set up.
So at this point, we cannot say that the judiciary is overreaching.
No, not at all. And even at that, you should also know that however a judgment is, an order of court is obtained, that order is meant to be obeyed to the letter until it is overturned at the higher court.
Okay, let's deal with the issue of separation of powers holistically.
Yes.
Now the question is, how do we factor in the issue of separation of powers? What does the law say about one arm of government muscling the other or stopping the other from doing its work?
No, it's purely obvious that there's what we call checks and balances. So where your duty stops is where the other arm of government duty starts. So in holistically, the executive have their roles to play as far as the Constitution is concerned. It's provided for them, as well as the legislative arm, which ordinarily is to make laws. And apart from making laws, they also have this oversight function to oversight the activities of the executive arm. Now, the judiciary, being the third arm of government and being the conscience of the people, will oversight both the executive and the legislature and the legislative arm. So if in any way any of these other two arms overreaches their bounds, the judiciary is there to curtail such overreaching.
Okay, going forward, how will this impact governance? We've talked about separation of powers already, in the rule of law in Nigeria.
How
will this whole imbroglio, the courts, the legislature, and the executive, how will it impact governance and the rule of law?
Okay, now we all know that the rule of law is supreme. Nigeria is practicing a constitutional democracy, which means whatever we are doing, we obtain it from the Constitution. So every quotation, if you listen to the House of Assembly members of Rivers State, what they're quoting is that by the Constitution, and any other person that is quoting quotes the Constitution of Nigeria. Even when the emergency rule was made, everybody quotes the Constitution. So the rule of law in Nigeria should and definitely should be observed. Okay. It's a sacrosanct. It's sacrosanct. We don't have to sweep our laws under the carpet.
Yeah. Otherwise,
so it's supreme. Our Constitution is supreme, and there should be that room for rule of law to take effect.
Now, before I let you go, just this one quickly. PANDEV has inaugurated a reconciliatory panel. It's giving it 2 weeks to broker truce. Now, this is talking on the plane of resolving this issue politically. What do you make of PANDEV's, the chairman is Agali, what they're doing or what they want to do?
Well, one cannot stop anybody or any association, any form of any person that would want to, because initially I said that peace ordinarily should be allowed to reign in Rivers State. Let the people of Rivers State feel the good governance. I know that the governor has a good mind. He has projects he wants to make the good people of Rivers State to benefit from. So let us, if PANDEV had the opportunity of brokering peace, they should go ahead and do that. I also call on APC government. I don't want to believe that they actually lured Fubara to come into APC and then they will mess him up. The president should stand up and call these men to order.
Because he's the leader of the party.
He's the leader of the party, so he should call them to order and let them stop this, so that the people, the good people of Rivers State, should benefit from the good governance that is open there for them. So if PANDEV had the powers within themselves, they feel they can broker peace.
Why not?
Wow, it is good for everybody.
Obedago lawyer, thank you so much for
you,
your interesting submissions on this question of impeachment or no impeachment in Rivers State, so that the people of Rivers State can enjoy the dividends of democracy. Thank you once again.